Hey friends, it's Amanda here with Mettle Modern Design and Deep South Shelling coming to you live tonight on behalf of our friends at Essential Stencil. And so let me kind of talk you through what I am thinking. You can grab some great little surfaces at Hobby Lobby. So I got these from the Woodpile collection. It is $3.49 for a 6-piece wooden banner. Let me hold that up so you can see. A wooden banner. Now, if you don't like the wooden banner, they've also got this great, this must be more like a 10 or 12 piece canvas banner. And you can use either of these with stencils or transfers. And so I'm going to use these with some of these letter stencils tonight, and I'm going to create the word metal on here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to stencil on canvas. So let me angle you down just a bit more, and then we will get going on this. So I dropped these when I first opened them, so hopefully the letters aren't all out of place, but they might be, because so I will need an E. See if I can spell my own name here. An L, an M, and I should just need a T, right? M-E-T-T-L-E. M-E-T-T-L-E. Yes, okay. So we've got all the letters there. I'm going to just use some black paint. I'm going to pull out some acrylic. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that out. It will take a little more than that. Let me not be stingy with it. And we're going to tape these down. I'm going to show you how I would position these to make sure I get the same spacing each time. But if you've got a business name, how cute would it be if you're doing craft fairs to create a little banner? Or if you do lives, you need your name in the background. This would also maybe be a great way to go about it. And then I'm just going to place my stencil right at the bottom of that. And then I know that I've got the right spacing on each one going forward. I don't have to eyeball it, which, you know, I am very guilty of sometimes just eyeballing things. And that doesn't always work out for me because I've got my crooked eye and all. So I'm just going to tape this down a bit. And we're going to grab out, a stencil brush. You see there's a dollop of paint there. We're going to offload that. We're going to lift it. We're going to offload it till there's barely any paint on here. And then it's just kind of a haze of paint on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to hold this flat. So I'm probably going to paint right over my fingers. I'm taking one for the team, for your booth. And so there's the M. We'll position our E right at the bottom of that tape. We can pretty easily determine our horizontal spacing. Okay. And again, we'll just pop this up, pop this over, lift our stencil off, and we just have our nice E. Okay, tape that down, grab our brush, grab some paint. Make sure we get all the little nooks and crannies. We'll lift this away. Grab off our E again. Then we will move on to our T's. And again, let's just tape this right at the top edge. Grab our T. And then at the end, when we get this done, all you need is some jute, and then you can string your sign together. I may use a couple of these panels and add something a bit more coastal. If you do the wood panels, as long as it's 6 letters, or you could grab a couple of packs, then you are good to go with that as well. One more T to go. So we'll just place this down, center it up. Just going to lift, and then we're just going to use a light swirling motion across this canvas banner. So we've got our next T. We've just got one last letter to do, and that's going to be our L. Lift and offload some paint. Make sure we hold it into place. Okay. We're going to lift this off. And so now we've got all the wet letters to spell the word metal. And this would be great, you know, to hang up in my booth, behind my lives, at a craft fair. But I want it to be a little bit more coastal than maybe it looks right now. So maybe what I need to do is grab another piece. M-E-T-T-L-E is 6. So, you know, I'd want to do 2 or 3 additional little pieces, maybe just 2, one for the start and one for the back side. And I'm just going to grab a couple of the little coastal transfers, and I'm just, or stencils rather. We'll pull this all together in just a moment, and then we'll do one more with a turtle, because, you know, I can't not have some turtles or something. And I'm going to use the smaller of the turtles. Let me still grab some paint or some tape and just kind of tape it down. Fabric is less forgiving, so you want to use less paint, light pressure and build your color in layers. You don't want to risk having bleed or any other issue. So we'll just lift this right away. So we've got a few more minutes. That was much faster than I thought it would be. So I think I will show you a technique instead of a full project. Let me show you a technique. I didn't plan to do this tonight, but we can do something on the fly. I've got that in me tonight. Let me pull out a square here. I've just got a little square, and I'm going to pull out a new stencil set. It's going to be released. We'll do the leather one. And I'm just going to do the small one. It's got 2 sizes in it. And this is going to be bigger than my square, which always presents a challenge. So I'm just going to take another square that's the same size, put it next to it, and that's what we will use to tape down. So what I'm going to do is on the back side, I'm going to tape them together, and I'm going to place my stencil down. I'm going to tape it up top up there. Not going to need very much paint at all. So I'm just going to grab up my stencil brush. I'm going to tap, tap, tap in that white paint and offload. It's going to offload. And then I'm just going to come over this piece here with this white paint. We're just going to stencil this down right over raw wood. Okay. Hinge that back. I did put the paint on darker in some spaces, lighter in others. We're going to set that to the side. We're going to dry this up a bit. And this is just going to be a technique. This one is oyster gray. I would prefer to use a more brown color, but we'll probably just go with that one and hope that it still turns out okay. We'll just use this one. I know I found that and pulled it in here so I could use it, but there's no telling. So it looks pretty light gray. I'm going to use a stain sponge. This is a water-based tintable stain from Lowe's. This one happens to be a semi-transparent, which means you'll see more grain through it, which means you should see this pattern through it. So I know you can't see the pattern, but let me show you. We're just going to stencil or stain right over the pattern. And this works with really any color stain. And your pattern just shows up. So let me grab a little bit more of this and finish staining out our piece. You can just kind of see the subtlety of the pattern. What do you guys think of that? That's just using some white acrylic paint and then some water-based stain. And that is that new pattern that's coming out later this week. It just kind of looks like leather. You know, with the pattern, you can actually layer some of the stencils with the pattern and only, like I'll show you a quick technique on this while we're waiting for Essential Stencil to choose us some winners. You can lay your pattern down. You can lay your letter down. And I'll just kind of show you what this looks like when you layer it. And you can get the pattern within the letters. I need more paint. I'm just going to kind of go with this, but you can kind of see how the letters show up. So you can actually put a solid letter down and then you can put it back down like this and actually create patterned letters. And so that's a great use for that one as well. You guys be blessed and take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye, friends.